This is the journey from scratch to success.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to From Scratch to Success, where we interview the most successful entrepreneurs about their journey. My name is Jayma, your host, and today my hair is done by Lauren On. Now, I've got a very special guest today. He is the premier Mexipino comedian who has been performing for over 15 years. You might have seen him on NBC's Last Comic Standing, an upcoming season of Comedy Invasion. It's the one and only Erik Escobar.
Hello, Jayma. So good to see you. I also want to just point out, here in the States where I'm based, everyone says Erik Escobar. I love the Australian Escobar. It makes me sound cooler than I think I've ever been named. So thank you for having me. I'm super stoked to be here.
No, I'm so happy to have you here. Now, since you mentioned, I must ask, the last name, are you somehow related to you know who?
You know what? Depends who's asking. If it's the
Okay.
authorities, not at all. If it's you, we can hang out. Sure, why not? All right, cool. I'll
Right.
bring Uncle over.
But at least now I know I've got a connection over there, right, Erik?
You do. Yes. Don't get in trouble with the police, but yes, you got a connection with me. Yeah.
Thank you. So tell me, how does your journey start? Tell me everything.
Yeah, so I'm a comedian. I've been doing comedy since high school. I started doing comedy in high school through improv. I was an improv guy, did some theater, and I kind of came across the improv team one day when we had a football practice.
Oh, nice.
I was on the football team. I was a sports guy. I loved it. Here in California, we don't get much rain, so it rained one day. It rained us out of football practice. So to stay in the shade and like not in the rainy thing, I actually went to theater and kind of just joined the improv workshop. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is fun. And the next day I quit football and I quit athletics and I joined drama and theater. So I was like, you know what? This is where I need to be. This is where I feel at home. So that's kind of where I started. After that, I just started doing more and more comedy. I was doing a lot of improv, started doing stand-up in college at the end of high school. And I feel like we all, any artist or any creative, I feel like when we're younger, we gravitate towards those creative things because they make us happy and they make us excited and they make us feel great. I think for me, that was theater for a long time and that was improv for a long time. But when I discovered stand-up, I was like, this feels like home. This feels like where I'm supposed to be. So I'm grateful I started my journey with improv and theater, but kind of going through the years and getting into stand-up and making stand-up my main priority and stand-up my main thing. It's been a wild ride and I absolutely love it.
Wow, sounds like a journey.
Mhm.
Erik, so what particularly inspired you, would you say?
I think a big inspiration was definitely my dad. He loved jokes. I feel like as a child, as an adult, as just a human being around him, you see the power of comedy and you see the power of humor when people who have nothing in common or may not even like each other or know each other can laugh together. And I feel that's what my dad did best. Like, I don't care if you were a stranger or someone who he casually knew but not well, he would open up with a joke. That joke would make them both laugh. And as a child, I'm like, this is so powerful. It doesn't matter who you're talking to, what room you're in. Like, the power of humor is great. It feels nice, makes you feel warm and fuzzy. It makes you feel community. It makes you feel like people understand. And I think that is the thing that kind of inspires me the most. Like seeing my dad sort of just make other people happy and inspiring me to also want to make other people happy and get that connection going, get that we're on the same page. We can both laugh no matter who we are, how we're different.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Sounds like your dad had such a big part, influence in your life. And Erik, you're right. Comedy is definitely one of those things that brings people together. Um,
100%.
yeah. Now, was there any early challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I feel like some of the earliest challenges I faced were pretty much just trying to be able to do comedy and balance that with life and paying the bills. And you have a job, you know what I mean? And you're like so burnt out from working all day and you're so
Mm,
tired. You don't really want to go to an open mic that night. You don't want to go to two or three open mics that night. But you really push yourself because I feel like no matter how hard it gets in this game, no matter how difficult it gets, no matter how many hours I have to drive or how long I have to be away from my family or how much money, whatever it is, like all the
Mm,
struggles, they all wash away when you have a great set. When you get that
mm,
standing
mm,
ovation, when you get that applause break, when you create a joke and you create a bit where you're like, I don't know if they'll get it. I hope they like it. I really like it. You present it and it just comes back with this wave of applause and laughter and joy. No matter how hard things get, those moments make it worth it.
mm,
I often compare stand up or comedy in general to kind of like having a job. And when you go to your job, you do it, it's great, whatever. But whenever your boss is like, hey, that was a great report, or oh, I really liked how you did this, it feels good. It feels good to be validated for the work that you do. And
mm.
in stand up, that validation is instant. They're not trying to laugh because they're trying to make you happy. They're not trying to laugh to make you feel good. If they're not laughing, you're not doing well. If they are laughing, whoa, that feels great. So to be up there and be validated constantly, that's what really drives me. And I think that's one of the funnest parts of the job.
Yeah, beautiful and well said. Now, was there any crucial turning point in your journey? Tell me about that.
Ooh. I will say, I don't know if this is a turning point, but this is my answer. So here we go.
Mhm.
I feel like whenever people ask me what's like the hardest thing about stand up, I always
Mhm.
tell them it's not going on the road, it's not writing your first hour, it's not writing a special or touring. It's none of that. I think the hardest thing about doing stand up and about doing comedy is going up for the first time.
Mm,
I have people in my life who've been talking about doing stand up or going to an open mic for 10 years, 15 years probably. And it's horrifying. It's scary. They don't do it. They're afraid of like, oh, what if it doesn't go well or whatever. And I think that is the hardest thing to do in comedy, in my opinion. So I
mm,
think the turning point for me was just deciding like I'm gonna go and do an open mic. Like I'm gonna finally do this. I'm gonna stop talking about it and I'm just gonna do it. Sure, that was kind of in a weird way a big thing, but also kind of just a small part of my journey.
mm,
But I do feel like just giving yourself that grace and that adrenaline filled thrill of like I'm just gonna do this, and if it's bad it's bad, if it's good for the first time, that's when you really decide this is the direction I want to go. And I'm so glad I made that turning point in my life because I love my life and I love my career and I love comedy, and it's so beautiful to have had that so I can do what I do now.
yeah, I can definitely see how passionate you are, like the way you talk about comedy. So, do you
Mhm.
remember that first time, that open mic?
I do. I do. I remember the first time going up, so I just Googled like comedy open mic near me or how do I do stand up?
Yeah.
And instead of sending me to a little cafe open mic or a bar open mic, the Laugh Factory pops up, which is probably arguably one of the biggest clubs in LA. So I have two jokes. I have nothing else. I don't even have two good jokes. I have two statements. I get in line. I think I was like the 10th person in line. It's where they cut it off. I think I
Mm,
showed up at like noon when the open mic was at like 5 or 6 p.m. I
mhm.
was so nervous, but it was fun. And I think just being able to do it kind of gave me like a that wasn't that great, but it can't get much worse than this, can it? It did. But at least I was able to go out, have fun, and do it to give me that little gumption to like, oh, I can do it again.
Good, good. I think you always got to take that first step, right? In anything you
Yeah.
do in life, right?
A
Yeah.
100%. And it's the scariest thing.
Mm,
Like, you know what I mean? We want to do these things. We might tell ourselves, I want to have a podcast or I want to do this or I want to act for years. Some people do it their whole lives until they're 80, 90 years old. And like, I never learned to juggle. And I think I was afraid to like never be able to do the thing I always wanted to do when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. And I'm glad that motivated me to do it because that first step is hard.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you did.
Mhm.
Yes. So Eric, what would be your first success milestone and how did you feel?
When I was in college and university, I was an RA. Out here in the States, an RA, we call it a resident assistant, but you
Okay.
basically are taking care of the dorms. So when you
Mhm.
live there, you're up if someone loses their key or whatever it is. So you're kind of just helping
Yes.
out. I remember when I was an RA and helping out in college, I had a resident whose name was Alex Davenport. He's an incredible comic. He's out of New York, and he did stand up. And he moved to LA, went to college in LA for stand up, and he was like, "Oh, do you know any open mics?" And I was
Mm,
like, "I kind of do a lot of improv. I've done a couple open mics, but if you want to do stand up and you need a buddy, I'm happy to join up with you and do some open mics, do some stand up stuff like that." Few weeks later, he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, I have this comedy thing. It's on a Saturday, but we have to get there Thursday. Are you down?" I'm like, "Oh yeah,
mm,
sure. Why not?" So we get there Thursday, we sleep on the street for a couple nights, and he takes me to the Last Comic Standing auditions, which at the time is like one of the biggest stand-up shows out here in the US. Like it's
mm,
the stand-up show. We both went. I was able to get a little bit of screen time, and I think using that credit really helped me in my career. I think a lot of the times when you're in stand up, you're looking for that credit, that TV show, that movie, that amazing podcast, just like this, where you can kind of show off and be like, "Hey, this is something I've done." I was
mm.
able to get that pretty early in my career. I think that really helped me kind of level up and get to certain places that I may not have been able to have open doors to.
Wow. And it sounds like your friend also sort of, went through that journey with you. It's quite special when you have someone along the ride there.
It is. I feel like stand up is extremely is very solitary. We do a lot of stuff by ourselves, but the beautiful part about it is in its solitude, I work a weekend 3, 4 times a month where I get to meet friends who I haven't seen in years. And it's
Mm,
kind of beautiful because we may not be traveling with these people all the time. We may not see them all the time. But once every 3, 4 years, we have that homie, we have that friend who we've known for years, we get to work with. And Alex, I'm very honored to say, has been like a homie since day one. So I'm
mm,
35. I've known him since I was 18. We've been doing comedy together for
wow.
17 years. It's so cool to have friends like that in your life and just be able to be like, we've been doing this. This is great. I love
Mm.
this.
That's so cool. And I must say, I want to use the word homie because I never get to use it here. So yeah, homie.
Yeah, homie. What's up,
Homie now
homie?
as well, Eric. Yeah, yeah,
Grandma's my homie. Whoever did
that,
your hair is my homie. They're
that's
beautiful. Can they
it.
do mine? We'll see if they can do mine. It's a challenge, but we'll see. We'll
It
see.
will be a challenge. That's right.
Yeah.
So, Eric, what strategies did you use to help yourself grow in the industry?
I think something that I heard once that I thought was really valuable was
Mhm.
don't work hard, work smart. And of course, you can take that apart and play that different ways. I think working hard is extremely necessary, and I think you should work hard. But there is something to be said about spinning your wheels and working very difficult without any outcomes or goals. And there's another thing to be like, well, let me work smart. Let me really look at that goals. What's the thing that I really need next year? What's the thing that I really need in 5 years? What am I trying to work to in 10 years? And let me try to achieve those goals. And in my worldview, that's kind of how I look at like playing the game smart. Like, don't just do a bunch of shows, don't just do a bunch of open mics, but really kind of like figure out what you want to do. Do you want to be more of an actor? Do you want to be more of a cruise comic? Do you want to be an improviser? Whatever that is, reverse engineer it to make sure you can get there in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I think setting those goals is extremely important, and holding yourself accountable to those goals are extremely important. If
Mm,
this was an easy game, everyone would do it and everyone would be super successful and amazing. I think the thing that kind of separates the people who are just doing it and the people who are leveling up is the people who are leveling up are finding things that they need to do and they're going out and doing it. And I feel like for me, there were just certain things on that bucket list that I really wanted to accomplish, and
mm,
working every day, having a routine, writing every day, submitting every day.
yeah.
Those things are extremely important, and I feel are extremely necessary if you want to get to that next step and not just kind of stay in where you are.
So plan it and do it. Yeah.
Plan it and do it. Sounds a lot. When you say it, it sounds very easy. I feel
No,
like
no, it's definitely not. No, I think such an amazing advice there. So, was there any lessons you learned the hard way, and how did you overcome that?
ooh, I feel like some lessons I learned the hard way. It's interesting because I feel very grateful that they weren't things that I had to learn the hard way, but I saw other people learn it the hard way, and I'm like, oh, not doing that. I think a big part of this is just being a good person. Take out your ego. Like, we are privileged to be able to be creative and do our art and be in a world where we can tell jokes on a stage. Like that is a thrill. That is like so cool. So kind of respect that and honor that. And I feel like if you oh wait, I got sidetracked. What was the question again?
Lessons you learn the hard way,
Oh,
and how did you overcome it? Yes, yes.
yes. And I feel like on that point, I've always been very grateful to be able to do comedy. And
Yeah.
I think I see other people who are not grateful and they think like they're entitled to it. And it's like, why aren't I headlining? Or why aren't I doing this show? And when you treat other people in a negative way, or when you give off that sense of like you're harder to work with, or you might be a little bit of a diva, or there's drama, I don't think people want to work with those types of people very much. You want to work with people who are easy to work with. You want to work with people who bring a smile to your face. You know what I mean? We only have so many hours and days on this earth. I don't want
Yeah.
to spend it being sad with people who are annoying. So I think the biggest lesson that I've seen, and maybe even myself, I'm just like I just maybe just buried it deep. But the biggest lesson that I've seen from other people and in comedy is the more genuine you are, the more real you are, the more kind you are, the more nice you are, the better things that will happen paired with the great, powerful hard work that, we're all hustling to do.
Mm, wonderful.
Mhm.
Eric, so this one is a deep one, okay? What keeps you
Ooh.
going?
Mm. Money, purely financial success, not the internal reward. I mentioned earlier, I do have a 14-month-old. He turned 14 months yesterday, and I love that guy so much. He's my favorite person in the whole world. Him and my partner are my favorite people in the whole world. Just saying, babe, I love you too. But I think because of that, I spent so many years as a comedian doing a lot of fun gigs and doing a lot of clubs and doing a lot of fun things that were really exciting. Now I have to take everything that I've learned, take that skill set and figure out how to make it more of a more of a monetarily advantageous thing so I
Mm,
can buy diapers and I can buy milk and I can buy toys and food and support my family and help my family. I think that is the biggest motivator for me now, because I think before it was all about me. This is my
yeah,
dream, and
yeah,
now it's all about them. And I was a smoker for a long time. I smoked cigarettes forever. And if you told me, Eric, quit, it's bad for your health, I'd be like, what are you talking about? I don't want to smoke
yeah,
cigarettes. But if you're like, hey, quit for your partner, quit for your wife, quit for your son, I would quit in a heartbeat. And you know what I mean? When we started dating and she didn't like it, I was like, I'll quit. You know what I mean? She got pregnant for sure. I'm never going to touch a cigarette again. But there's something so powerful about doing and acting for someone else than there
mm,
is for doing it for yourself. And for so long, I was doing it for myself and I was so motivated and I was so just like, let's go. But as soon as I had to do it for my beautiful partner and my son, it was so much more like, we really need to figure this out. And we really need to just like hit the ground running. And I'm so grateful for them for
mm.
motivating me to be a better comic and human and father and partner.
Oh, that's so sweet. Shout out to your beautiful baby boy and your
Hmm.
partner.
He's
Um,
very beautiful. He gets all his good looks from me. Hello, hello,
and your
hello.
partner, I'm sure.
And my partner and my beautiful wife. She's amazing. She's actually more beautiful than me. Probably gets from there, but I'll claim it now that we can't see her. You don't know what you look like. You don't know what she looks like. Crowd, just
It's okay.
hey, hi.
I'll schedule an interview with her next week.
Sounds great. She's more successful, so you know what? She's better for this podcast. Actually, she goes like,
Oh,
whoa, yeah.
so good. Now, was there any habit or routine that you do, Eric, to keep this success?
Yes. There's a few things that I do. I feel like routines and habits are, I feel like they keep you grounded. So I feel
Mm,
like in order not to go off and be like, I like to keep grounded through those. I try to write every day.
okay.
Ralphie May, who's an amazing comic from the States, had a thing that he talked about where he's like, I give myself points when I'm on
Okay.
stage.
Wow.
So like for example, every new joke I do might be 5 points. Every new
Mhm.
tag, in addition to a joke, might be 3 points. Every this
Okay.
might be a point. And every time he does a set, he'll try to get at least like 20 points or
Mm,
25 points. And I think I perform so regularly that I kind of make that part of my ritual. Like every time I go up, I have to get at least 10 points. I have to at least do 2 new jokes. And having that goal and being like, I need to prep for that, that really keeps me going. I feel very strongly about something called transcendental meditation. I learned about it through David Lynch, RIP, he's a great guy. But it's you meditate 20 minutes a day, you know what I mean? You get
Okay.
your mantra, you just kind of focus in, zone in. If you do it twice a day, double points. And for me, that's a big recharge. I feel
Mm,
like I don't know the science behind it, but I feel
mhm,
like when you repeat this mantra and you're not trying to let anything else enter your thoughts, your brain, your head, your feelings, it kind of teaches you to build up that focus muscle. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let anything come in. I'm just going to zoom in and focus. And I
mm.
think more I meditate, the more I can focus on writing.
Okay.
Because if I don't, I'm just like, oh, let me write a joke about a dog, or maybe about pizza, or maybe we can do a joke about an apron or wearing an apron. Oh no, let me do something about cheese. And I'm just so like all over the place. I
Uh-huh,
think
uh-huh.
meditating and focusing in really helps me be like, no, we're writing a joke about constipation today, and
Oh,
nothing's gonna move me away from constipation. We're focusing on that. So I feel like
that's
those daily
right.
meditations, yeah, that daily writing, and
Okay.
yeah, those are just things that I feel like they'll never hurt me as a comic. So I'm gonna keep on doing them.
Beautiful. Eric, now, how do you deal with a burnout, fear, or criticism?
Oh wow, I think I deal with all those in very different ways.
Yeah, tell me.
Um, let's tackle burnout. I feel like I cannot be the best comedian, the best father, the best human, the best partner I can be unless I'm at 100%.
Mm,
So I almost feel like I could have chosen a million careers that could have also maybe burned me out. I have friends who in their 20s are like, I hate my job. And I'm like, I get it, you know what I mean? It's tough. But I feel like when approaching stand up, I'm doing it. I'm not making a ton of money, but I'm doing it because it's so fun. It's less fun if I'm not at 100%. So I
mm,
always tell myself, like, Eric, if you're getting burnt out, if you're getting tired, that makes stand up less fun. And if stand up isn't as fun as it could be, I could have been an accountant. You know what I mean? I could have been a teacher. I could have been a million other things.
yes.
So in terms of burnout, I think if I get burnt out, I just give myself that grace and try to just do something to make me feel rejuvenated.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, I feel like fear is fun. Fear is exciting. I feel like the more scared I am about a set, the more fun it is.
Mm-hmm.
Something really interesting about comedy, and I don't want to speak on behalf of all comedians, but I have encountered a huge percentage of comedians that I assumed were extroverts and outgoing and all that big stuff. A lot of us are introverts. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
comedians are more shy. They're maybe a little more standoffish, a little more stoic. I'm not saying a ton are, but a lot more than I thought there were. And I feel like that those personality types have more fun doing stand up. I feel like if you're an extrovert person, you like to be on stage, you can talk in front of people. Stand up can be fun for you, but you can do this every day. And that isn't really anything that's like too different from your normal life. But if you don't like talking to people, if you hate being on stage, if you have stage fright and you go up there and you crush it, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to sleep for 3 days. It's going to be so fun. So if anything, when I'm scared, I'm like, bring it on. The more fearful I am, the better I do. It's going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also feel like criticism is very tough because like I'm like I like my jokes, I like the way I do them,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where if you are being critiqued and you immediately shut it out, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're not being open-minded to the what if.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear criticism, especially from people who come up to me after shows and they're like, "Oh, I'm a comedian, but only in conversation." You know what I mean? I have a joke idea for you, or you should say this. You know what? Maybe you're not really like someone who I would usually take joke advice from, but if 1 in 100 people have an incredible idea, and I'm like, that's actually really smart. Let me play with that. That's more valuable than tuning all 100 people out. So my ears are open. My ears are open. I'll cry in the shower later, but my ears are open. Yeah.
Wow, what great advice for all of those things. Thank you, Eric. So now this one also quite deep. What does success mean to you?
Success for me means I think ultimately it's being very proud. It's being proud of the work that I'm presenting and the quality of how I'm presenting it. If ever I get bummed out and I think I'm unsuccessful or I'm in a rough patch, I always and I've done this for years. I always think about what me 5 years ago or me 10 years ago would say if they saw me now.
Mm,
If Eric in his 30s is feeling I'm not successful, Erik at 25, who lived in a closet space in Koreatown, doing open mics every night, making maybe, 20, $30 a week. Like, I would be flabbergasted with how I look now. Even though I wasn't that great at 25, if I was 15 and my 15-year-old self saw me doing open mics and shows at 25,
Mm,
they would be flabbergasted and be like, wow, that's so cool. So I
yeah.
always try to be very like, what is past me, think of now me. Like, you always got to be grateful, you always got to be proud of your work. Gratitude is really big. I think just being grateful is a huge part of success. People who are millionaires and they're not grateful, and they're like, oh, I
Mm,
still need more, and they're like bummed out, and it's like, your life is upsetting. You know what I mean? Like, there are people who have nothing and they're more joyful and feel more successful than you. So I feel like taking pride in your work, thinking
mm,
about what past you would be proud of with now you, and also just like always being grateful for what you got. Like, that's a fun little recipe for success. Like, if you got those things, nothing's really going to bring you down. I heard a great quote. It was anxiety and gratitude can't live in the same room. I don't know if
wow.
I agree with it 100%, but I definitely get the attitude and I get the understanding of, like, if you're so stoked about what you do, you're not going to be anxious. You're not
Mm,
going to be upset. So I really try to focus in on that and just love what I do.
I love that. Thank you, Eric. That's so beautiful.
Oh,
Amazing.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next round it's like a power round, okay? You can
Let's
give me
do it.
short answers on the questions. Are we ready?
Let's go. I'm excited.
All right. A business book or a podcast that changed your thinking?
Ooh, I would say Tina Fey's Bossy Pants. Tina Fey, longtime SNL writer, 30 Rock. She's great. If you read her book, the way it. Oh, this is a long answer. Oh my God. Tina Fey's Bossy Pants. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great.
Okay, we'll read that. Okay.
What
Best
about you?
advice you've ever received?
Ooh, if you work hard and you're kind to people, great things will happen.
What's one thing you wish you'd done differently?
Ooh, wow. One thing I wish I did differently. Oh man, I would say, you know what? For a long time, I loved my set and I didn't write as much as I used to. If I was younger, I would have just written more and written more aggressively.
Okay, good. If you lose everything or if you lost everything, what would be your first move?
Ooh, asked my wife for some money.
Oh, you're so funny. Eric, so what's next for you?
I have a bunch of shows coming up. I'm very excited. If you're here in the States, I have a ton of stuff coming up here, but I also got some stuff internationally. Coming up, I got Oregon in January. I got Vegas in March. I should be going back to Alaska soon. I love Alaska. But if you follow me at Erik Escobar on Instagram, you can see all of my upcoming shows, and I'm probably going to be somewhere near you, whether it's a club or a basement. It's somewhere, but I'll be somewhere near you.
That's right. So future goals for you.
Ooh, future goals. A big future goal for me is finding a balance with
Mhm.
spending more time with my family and comedy. I was doing comedy so aggressively and I was on tour so much and on the road so much that I
Yeah.
feel like now that I have a child, I got to figure out what to do so I can be around my kid as much as possible. So,
Mhm.
a future goal, even though it's not as much comedy related, is
Mhm.
just spending more time with this beautiful boy while he's cute and small and he loves me, and still being able to do stand up, but finding what I can do that might be a little more in town or financially viable so I can maximize that time with my beautiful partner and my beautiful kid.
Well said. And what a beautiful goal.
Mhm.
Eric, so do you have any advice for people that may have a dream and they want to start something? What would you say to them?
I would say do it. It's going to be hard. You're going to find a million reasons why you can do it. You're going to find a million reasons why you should delay it or do it tomorrow or do it next week. Do it now. Set a goal and be like, in a month, I'm going to do it. Or in a week, I'm going to do it. And you know what? I feel if it doesn't work out, that's okay. But you can never say to yourself, you never tried.
That's right.
So never give yourself that regret. Like, always just try
Mhm.
it and try to do it, even if it's in a small part. Just go for it. Just go for it. With the internet now. You can always Google like poetry slam near me or something like that. You have no reason to not do it.
That's it. Wow, so beautiful. So now how does viewers get in touch with you? Do you want to call out all your social handles?
Everything's pretty much this at Erik Escobar. Boom, boom, pow. That's
Mhm.
Erik, the Escobar. There's also a wonderful jazz pianist named Erik Escobar. I'm not him. There's also another Erik Escobar who's white. I'm not him. I'm this Erik Escobar. Find me. You'll always see me in a suit. And like I said, I have a ton of shows coming up all over. So I would love to see you there. Say that you met me or found out about me from this podcast. We can talk about how great J Ma's hair is. You know what I mean? It'll be wonderful. So
Oh,
please, we'll discuss about that. It'll be fun.
wonderful. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Erik, for your time. It's so good to actually learn a little bit more about you. I mean, I've seen how funny you are
Thank
through
you.
your comedy, but you're such a genuine, just a nice guy.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I feel like it's a big honor, and I'm very grateful, going back to gratitude, to do podcasts like this. So thank you for creating a platform for other comics, other creatives, stuff like that. What you're doing is absolutely incredible, and I appreciate you. I appreciate all the kind words, and I'm so happy this worked out in 2 p.m. Tuesday your time, 7 p.m. Monday my time. I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sure we'll meet in person sometime when I go to the States next year. I'll definitely get in touch with you. So thank you, Erik.
No problem. Thank you. And if I ever go to Australia, we gotta hang out. We're gonna do
Of
some
course.
gigs. It'll be great. I'll open for you. Just do a tight 90 minutes of comedy. I'll do 5. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Oh, thank you so much. So, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching From Scratch to Success. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Erik is such an inspiration person. Make sure you follow Oz Arab Media. My name is Jayma, your host. And God bless you all. Take care.